cut it down, why should it use up the ground? I was looking at this verse, and it was interesting, the symbolism that it chooses, that Jesus chooses to use. He uses a fig tree, and it's definitely not the first or the last time that the fig tree would be addressed in the Bible. In Genesis, after the original sin, Adam and Eve covered themselves with fig leaves, and fig leaves and fig trees represented peace in Judah, and it just it's rife with symbolism throughout the Bible. And in another place, in John 1:48, we see the story of Jesus seeking out his disciples. And Philip knows Nathanael, and Philip says, hey, the Jesus, the Messiah that we've been looking for our entire lives is among us. I want you to meet him. And upon seeing Nathanael, Jesus says, finally, somebody with an upright heart, somebody that I can choose to build the rock of my church on. And Nathanael said to him, how do you know me? Jesus answered him, before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. And it's so interesting. What about this fig tree represents so much? What about this symbolism? What are we supposed to get from this word? Well, the country that they were in was a hot country, and in order to get some shade, you would have to stand under some place with a large coverage, and the large coverage was represented in the fig tree. And when I think about what we're doing, it's a lot like that fig tree. You would go under the fig tree to relax. You would go under the fig tree to have conversations. You would go under the fig tree to have your devotions to God. You would go under the fig tree to set up pipe and drape. You would go under the fig tree to set up your carts, set up your bins. And then Nathanael responds with, surely you're the Son of God. Well, what about Jesus seeing Nathanael under the fig tree brings him to this response? Jesus is essentially saying, I know what situation you're in. I know what you're going through. I know what's happening when you're setting up the pipe and drape. I know how excruciating it is to wake up at 8 in the morning and get here so early. I know you and I see you. And that in and of itself is enough for us to worship Jesus, for him to know us and see us. But the Bible goes further on to say in the parable that I read in the beginning, it says, and he answered him, Sir, let it alone this year also until I dig it and put on manure. Then if it should bear fruit next year, well and good, but if not, you can cut it down. So it's one thing to be seen and known, but Jesus takes it a step further. He says, I'm gonna work on you. I'm gonna put manure down. I'm gonna tend to this soil. I'm gonna tend to what you guys are doing. You're not being unseen. Jesus sees you in your situation. Jesus knows what's going on when you're setting up pipe and drape, when you're putting what's his name? James the doorman, the door stopper. He sees every situation that you're going through, and he sees you, knows you, but even further than that, he works on us. If that's not enough to do what we do for other people, we are being worked on, but there are people walking into this auditorium who don't know of this Jesus. He doesn't know that Jesus sees us. They don't know that Jesus calls us, and they definitely don't know that Jesus works on us all the same. So be encouraged by that as you go along. You're not just doing work, you're being worked on.
Wow. I'm thankful that Jesus has been seeing Bianca and I cut some strawberries, because at times when we cut in those strawberries, we're like,